Is there a prompt? There are 6 emergency exits.
Hello, everybody. This is Rod, your captain speaking. We are currently 30,000 feet in the air, and we haven't even left the airport. We just lit the joint. Just kidding, a little pilot humor there. We like to have fun. Our destination today is Casablanca, Morocco. So everyone, sit back, fasten your seatbelts, and prepare for takeoff. We will be arriving in 6 hours.
What's going on, 7-Footers gang? We are back again. Jarod and Jenna here, and it seems like these episodes are just flying at you guys because that's what we want to happen. We're coming back with a bang. We're coming back not with vengeance because we're just ready to grow on top of the little seed that we keep rising through the years.
Look at you getting all poetic and.
Well, we're matching today.
Oh, yes,
it's
true.
prediction day.
Award prediction day, yeah.
I mean, my hair is curled. I mean, it is a time, my friend.
What a time to be alive, as they say.
Oh, yes. You know what it is. I'm even ignoring a call from my niece for this, so.
I mean, she's like 2. I mean, what like.
Well, she's turning 2. Listen, she is so sassy. It is not even funny. She wants nothing to do with me.
Really?
Not any of my bribes.
Oh,
no.
She's over all that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's extremely worrisome because, like, I see myself in her, and it's terrifying. Imagine, like, a little you, like, running around.
Yeah, it's a little something. Yeah, I'm sure your brother and sister-in-law are loving that right now.
Oh my God. My brother texted me the other day and he was like, Jenna, I'm so scared. Well, have fun. That's why I have her auntie. She can come visit when she's not sassy. No, I'm kidding. Love you. Anyway, let's get started here because, you know, if you guys listen to this podcast, you know I love to go on a good little rant off script, and Jarod probably wants to kill me. So let's get into it. Now, like I said, guys, we are predicting our awards for the season, which is so fun because then, per usual, I get to go back and rub it in Jarod's face when I beat him.
But let's really look at those numbers. I don't think you're actually winning any of these contests.
I'm not going by the stats. I'm going by my own feelings.
Your own feelings. Nice. All right. Fair enough.
That's all I could do.
Fair enough.
But it is super fun because the banter, the rivalry, everything is great. Plus, we get to keep track all season and see what's going on. And now that sports betting is so in the mix of normalcy these days, it's fun to see the different Vegas odds and everybody else's predictions, aka your favorite 2 people right here, Jarod and Jenna. So let's just go into it. But before we do, would you like to discuss anything?
I mean, look. We talked about Kyrie ad nauseum last episode. Nothing has changed there. Shams Charania had a piece come out on The Athletic, and this is not shade at Shams. Like, whatever, it just is what it is. Like, that was straight from Kyrie's camp, and, like, it read like PR. Like, it's just ridiculous. So, Kyrie wants to be a voice for the voiceless. Well, in order to be a voice for the voiceless, my guy, you have to actually use your voice and talk and tell people things. So, that is what that is. We know Ben Simmons is in Philly. He did have a meeting with Daryl and Doc. It was very brief. We know he did get his first COVID test, so he's in the safety protocols because, you know, once you're away from the team, you have to, even if you are vaccinated or not, you know, there's different rules. You have to be within a certain amount of days of a negative test before you actually show up to the team and start doing the do. So we'll see where that's going to lead, whether he's or not he's going to play and what that means. Time will tell, so we'll keep an eye on that situation.
I mean, we're a week out, so
yeah, we'll see.
By the time he gets out of protocol and everything, we should see him for the start of the season, correct?
We should. Now, whether or not he plays and what's going on, and again, you know, Philly had practice today, and Keith Pompey of the Philadelphia Inquirer, their terrific beat reporter, he gets some great footage and quotes from Danny Green and some other guys, and they're like, look, you know, at the end of the day, we just want him to come in here and do his job. And so, you know, look, there's going to be that awkwardness we talked about on the last episode, right? But ultimately, it's a situation that needs to resolve itself in some form or fashion.
Real quick question, and this is just from the human aspect of it all. You know, not to sound petty, anything for real, but I mean, this is a normal human situation, right? So if the reports were true that Ben had cut off communication with teammates especially, really just going rogue, not filling anybody in about what's going on, do you think that they have a right to have a chip on their shoulder when he enters that locker room?
I mean, yeah.
Again, I know we're all professionals here, but hey, we are also a team at the end of the day, and you were not a team player all summer.
I mean, of course, right? Like, there's hurt feelings on both sides, right? Like, his teammates are going to feel some kind of way. He obviously feels some kind of way. Like, it's just, and again, as I mentioned last episode, Daryl Morey is someone who is okay with things being uncomfortable. All right, but Daryl, you ain't in the locker room, right? Like, you're not the one dealing with that. The guys are the ones in there, and Doc is, and that just the tension. I mean, look, Jenna, we've all been next to your teammates. Like, you know what I'm saying? This isn't like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm in a whole nother wing. No, like, this is close quarters. It's just, there's gonna be some stares, some awkward looks, it's just gonna be awkward. And again, we are not going to know outside of reporting we get from people with sources deeply inside the locker room. We're not gonna know what's happening inside, but that's the deal.
Right. Okay. Just want to get your opinion on that too, because I mean, it really is. It's awkward. It's an awkward situation, no matter what way you spin it at this point. So that's going to be all eyes on Philadelphia, especially next week. So we'll keep an eye on that because I am ready for the show. Although, on a real note and a last note to close this topic, I'm not saying everybody needs to kiss his ass, but I do think people need to ride the line of, okay, criticism and then just blatant bullying. And I'm not saying players, I'm saying fans.
Oh,
How many fan issues there were last season.
Yeah.
So,
I'll say this, Jenna. The fans hopefully will not throw anything or do anything that crosses the line, but I will tell you, they're going to be merciless yelling at him and chanting. Like, that is going to happen. So, he best be ready, because that's coming.
Hopefully he can handle that mentally, for sure. Anyway, let's go on, because we have to hand out some premature awards a bit here and give you guys our predictions for the 2021-22 season awards, because, baby, we are right around the corner. 1 week away. Oh, what a time to be alive. Do you smell the basketball energy in the air?
Yeah, I love it, man. It's great.
All
Do
right.
it.
All right, MVP. Now, we have some Vegas odds here for you guys that predict that Luka Doncic is going to basically sweep the MVP race, with Joel Embiid following and Kevin Durant. Now, again, these are predicted odds by professionals. However, Jarod, my other professional, who are you taking for MVP?
Well, okay, I want to answer this in two ways. If you are a gambler, right, you have good odds regardless of who you pick. Luka Doncic at plus 400, right? So you bet 100, you win 400. Joel Embiid and Kevin Durant plus 700. Bet 100, you win 700. So 4-1, 7-1, solid odds. And I think those are pretty good. So you'd be fine betting either one of those. I think for me, in terms of like non-betting aside, I'm gonna go with Durant as my MVP pick. And the reason why I'm going with that is because, as we know, the MVP is a narrative-based award. And as I mentioned last episode, Durant in his 30s now, right? This is the back end of his career. Like, he's not retiring tomorrow, but he's in the last 5, 6, however many years of his career. 7, but let's put it this way: more of his career is behind him than in front of him, right? Okay, so it's going to be a situation where we're already starting to hear the rumblings. This is a guy who's going to end up somewhere in the top 10 all time. I mean, he might already kind of actually be there. Of greatest players of all time, and you're gonna be like, damn, he only got one MVP? That doesn't make any sense, right? And you're gonna start being like, okay, especially if they're able to win at a high clip this year, and Kyrie is out, and he does his usual, 27, 7, and 5 on 50, 40, 90. Like, that's it'll be, Kevin Durant's the best player in the world. He should have another MVP award. So that's my reason for going with Durant there. And as a gambling pick off the board, if you really want to try to roll the dice and win some money, Nikola Jokic is getting really disrespected as the reigning MVP. We saw Giannis go back-to-back. Why couldn't Jokic go back-to-back? Jokic is plus 1,600. So if you want to just throw a flyer, I mean, why not? Denver's going to be good. Jamal Murray, we know, is not playing until at the earliest the spring, and that's probably too early. So we know Jokic is going to get a lot of shots up and assist and do his usual thing, as will Michael Porter Jr. If they're able to maintain themselves high in the standings, he'll be right there. So it's worth it at plus 1,600.
Very interesting. The thing is, though, with this narrative-based award, I hate to say it, but Nikola Jokic isn't exactly at the popularity that any three of these guys are that we just spoke about. And I hate to say that, honestly, because I think that's trash. Like, I hate that it's narrative based because it deserves to go to the best player who played the best that season. And it's a regular season award. But again, it is a popularity contest a lot at the end of the day. So that might be your answer as to why Jokic is.
All right. So who are you going with?
My heart wants to go with LeBron James. Or honestly, even I think a surprise is going to be Steph Curry.
Oh.
But if I was a better gambler, which I am not, I do not engage. But I would go with Kevin Durant.
Oh, see, why you're always copying me? I gotta, you know.
I am not copying. Do you think I wanted to say that? Do you think I wanted to truly choose that? However, if there is somebody, to put your money on, I would lean that way. However, you could even put a little asterisk by my name and pick Steph Curry because I think that he's going to have a great season.
All right,
and I think he's going to be in the conversation.
They got to win more than they won last year, that's for sure. And Steph's at plus 900, so that's a nice little, it's a nice little bet there. Okay, so we'll say we both picked Durant for like the non-gambling reasons, although it's still a good bet, plus 700. But
Totally.
All right, DPOY. Now you go first on Defensive Player of the Year.
Ooh, I love that Ben Simmons is on here for the Vegas odds.
Oh yeah, he's excellent. He's the best non-Rudy Gobert defender in the league. Like he is. He's excellent. Excellent.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's wild for Rudy Gobert to get it another time.
This would be what, 4 or 5?
Four. This would be 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the best defender in the league, so you wouldn't be wrong if you picked him.
Right. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Miles Turner.
Wow, I like that.
I'd love to go with Joel Embiid.
But you worried about the health?
I'm worried about his health. Yep. Throughout the entire season.
Embiid, by the way, plus 1,000. So that's a nice So if you want, no, it's good because look.
I know it's good, but like
if you win that's a nice one to put some long money on. All right, so you're going with Miles Turner as your actual pick, and then if you were gambling, you're going with Joel Embiid at plus 1,000. All right, that's fair. All right, I'm gonna go. I want to keep my gamble and my pick with my heart the same. I'm gonna go with Anthony Davis. Now, look, this is a huge caveat because what did I say last episode? He leads the league in trips to the locker room, and Charles Barkley affectionately, I don't know if it was affectionate or not, called him street clothes, right? So I mean, he ain't gonna win this award if he's out like he usually is. But if your Lakers, Jenna, think they have designs on winning an NBA championship, he's got to be basically MVP and DPOY level player. Like that's if he's not, they're not winning. So
especially him, because he's the youngest best player.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll the dice and say Anthony Davis plus 1,000.
I like that. I liked that. Okay. This is an easy one for me. I don't have to think for Rookie of the Year. This is just me. I'm going with my favorite, my day one, like my Trae Young. That almost rhymed. Jalen Green, through and through, my heart and my bettor's heart, everything. He is going to win it, hands down.
Jalen Green, excellent pick. Look, I feel like, the Rockets are going to stink, so he's going to score a lot of points. Somebody got to score down there. So
I'm going to do it.
I think that's going to work out well. I like that pick. I've been wrestling with this one. I'm like, should I go Cade Cunningham? He's the odds-on favorite at plus 250. You know how that goes. But honestly, Jenna, I'm going to go a little off the board here. Oh, not a little, but definitely off the board. I'm going to go Scotty Barnes in Toronto at plus 800. Now, he isn't going to have the counting stats, right, that those guys will have because Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham and those guys and Suggs, they're number one options on their teams because they ain't got nobody else. But Scotty Barnes is going to be that kind of like do everything, right? He's going to do
I love Scotty Barnes.
And the Raptors of these teams are going to be the best of this crew. So I'm going off the board. Scotty Barnes plus 800. You take Jalen Green. I'm writing this down. All right, here we go.
I am very, very impressed with your pick.
Thank you,
I'm a huge fan of Scotty Barnes and would have chosen him. However, he's just... I just think that Jalen Green is going to surpass everybody between the star power, that goddamn great hair. I mean, all we need is a curl tutorial. I don't need to know anything about your game, your tattoos.
I mean, the Head and Shoulders, that's got to be the sponsorship, right? I mean, what are we doing?
I mean,
some kind of hair product. Some
Moroccan oil up in this bee, like something.
Moroccan oil, I love it.
Some type of like really good curl.
I got you.
Brand, which I should know.
I got you. It's right. You got curls. It's true.
I know. Maybe I can like finesse an interview with him and just be like, all I want to know is about his hair, the neck up. That's it. He doesn't even have to talk. Well, he does to tell me, but that's about it.
You're like, I just want to know my hair products.
That's it. That's all. You're going to be shocked by my answer of this one, the next one.
Okay, go on.
Of the year.
Okay.
Now, odds have Steve Nash taking it first at plus 850, then Eric Spoelstra plus 900, and then Quinn Snyder 1100. And I'm going to go with Steve Nash because I just think that somehow, some way, the stars will align, and whether Kyrie comes back or not, I think the Nets are going to be okay. I think that after all is said and done, they're at least going to make it to the finals. Either for my pick later, and I think that Steve Nash is going to come out of this looking like a hero.
Okay.
Not saying he won't be. I'm just saying I know the headlines. I can see them now. Coach through the adversity of a pandemic, an outlier of Kyrie Irving, and kept his team together. And the chemistry was off the charts because he's a legend. And then the players are going to come out and praise him. It's going to be a whole thing. So I'm going to go with Steve Nash. And I'm not saying that he's not capable of any of that, because he certainly is. So we shall see. However, I love Spo. But
I got you. All right, I'm going to go with Quinn Snyder because, look, the Jazz have been good in the regular season the last few years, but he's yet to win a Coach of the Year award.
He was in the conversation last year, but there were so many candidates.
So I think again, being a narrative based thing, it's like how the Jazz is good and Quinn's never won an award. Plus 1100, I kind of like those odds. Now it's a good thing for him. It's a regular season award because postseason wise, again, that intransigence of his, my God, you got to be flexible in the postseason. Adapt, do different things. Let's see if he learns something in the offseason. But I'm going to go with Quinn Snyder, Utah Jazz, to win Coach of the Year.
Oh, love it. Love your picks. Okay, let's move on. Most improved player. Yeah.
I think you know where I'm going with this, but go ahead.
I do know where you're going with this. This is going to be an interesting one because this is really kind of anybody's game. It's just a matter of how, it is a little narrative based, of course, people coming from certain slumps or injury, of course. But really, anybody, they have a breakout season and then all of a sudden you're in the conversation. People love to switch it up. But the Vegas odds have our guy SGA at plus 700 and then followed by Zion at plus 700. So teed up there. And then Michael Porter Jr., who just got paid, as we said last episode. And he's at plus 700. The odds are close. I mean, you could really play with this if you're a bettor. You can kind of even go off the charts with this one a little bit. This is an interesting one. I think the obvious choice here to me is Michael Porter Jr. He just got paid. He's due for a season. He accelerated last season, but, it was like a slower pace there. And then I think he's going to take off this season. So if I'm placing my money, I would put it on MPJ right there. But again, there's so many people we could talk about here.
No, I think you are dead on, Jenna. I think, for me, that's who Vegas laid the odds at.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't pick either of these three because to me, improved from what?
Not even your boy?
No, because these three to me are already very good.
I
So
know who you're picking.
So why are we like, okay, Michael Porter Jr. could make his first All-Star team this year. That's very likely. Okay, but does that mean like he's necessarily most improved, or is it a product of no Jamal Murray and he's got to take more shots, right? Like SGA, we know what Oklahoma City is. That's like dumpster fire because they ain't trying to win no games. So how are we able to truly tell if he got better? And Zion, shit, we just heard from Andrew Lopez, Pelicans beat reporter. They're still waiting on scans from his foot, and he hasn't started running yet. So is he not? I mean, if he hasn't started running yet, I doubt he plays the first game of the season next week. Who knows what's going on? No, I have not.
Seen him recently?
I have not seen him recently. So I don't know what's going on in New Orleans. I'm going off the board, Jenna. You know where I'm going. Down to Memphis, Tennessee. My boy, Triple J. Jarod Jackson Jr. at plus 1,600. Now, here's the thing. I said the Grizzlies could really make that next leap and win more games this year. And as I said last episode, we know what John Morant's doing. But their key is Jarod Jackson Jr. starting to become who we think he can be. And if he is that with John Morant, oh, hell yeah. So I'm going Triple J plus 1,600, most improved.
What a moment. As a bettor, you would place your money? You would put that 1,600 down.
Well, I put 100 down to win 1,600, but yes.
Or, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yep,
You know what I mean.
Yep, I would.
You know what? This is a beautiful moment because if he were here, he would be so happy.
He would.
Last time we had him on the show, it was a beautiful moment.
He knows. He knows. Like I am a.
He needs to come back.
Yeah, we gotta get him back on. He knows I'm a big believer in him and his game. So this is just more proof of that.
Triple J, very limited players have nicknames on the 7-footers.
It's true.
Podcast.
True. Shouts to Trip.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a special relationship with Triple J there. All right. Let's talk a little Sixth Man of the Year. This is one of my favorite awards. And the Vegas choices are quite obvious. Jordan Clarkson, plus 550. Kevin Huerter, plus 1,100. So that jump is very significant, very interesting. So, and then third, Joe Ingles, plus 1,200, close right there between those two. But that major gap, talk to me about that gap.
So it's, Sixth Man of the Year is one of those awards that when the sharps in Vegas, when they're figuring this out, they just look at last year. Who won it last year? How many points a game did they score? And who were the high-scoring people off the bench? And they just kind of go down from there. Jordan Clarkson won it last year, so it's reasonable to think he'd do it again because Utah's going to be another excellent team, and he's a big key to their bench unit, right? So plus 550, you wouldn't go wrong there. I'm going to go with Kevin Huerter at plus 1,100 because I love the Atlanta Hawks, as you know, Jenna. Big fan. I think as far as teams in the NBA, they have the best upside because they have the best core of young talent, right? I mean, that roster is just overflowing with a bunch of young guys who are really good. And if DeAndre Hunter is starting, that means Huerter is coming off the bench. I love that. Like, he's, 15 points. I mean, we saw what he did in the postseason, Jenna. He was not afraid in his first postseason, doing extremely well in that series against Philadelphia to get to the conference finals. So I like Huerter at plus 1,100 there.
You are a bettor today. You know what? Since I haven't gone off the grid.
Go off the grid.
I'm going to go off the grid. Because Jordan Clarkson won it last year.
He sure did.
He sure did. Wealth, honey.
He sure did.
Wealth.
He sure did.
I'm going to go with, I don't think you're expecting this, but I'm expecting a major shift in attitude, everything, because of his role finally being utilized for him. I'm going to go with Montrezl Harrell in Washington.
Okay.
Call me crazy, but I'm ready.
I like it. Okay, little Trez Harrell. I'm trying to think. Is he even on the board? Trez is not even on the board.
Probably not.
That's how they know. They're like, man, we don't even got odds for this dude. They're like, we don't even know. He's not even on the board because we're not sure about this guy.
I told you I was going to go off the board. I just happened to be off a couple boards.
But I like it. I like your guts there. listen, it's you never know with six man of the year, right? Things can change. Guys get moved into starting lineups, right? Like
Right.
Patty Mills, like may start more now because Kyrie is, whatever. So that may change, right? So it's all relative. But I like that pick. That's good. Good on you.
Oh, I love when you compliment me.
It doesn't happen often, folks. So
That's because he just keeps them to himself because he tries to keep me humble. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
Really
that's
appreciate
exactly it.
Exactly. We know. All right, let's get to the good stuff here. But before we do, I would just like to say that no matter what happens the next couple minutes, I will always love you.
Because she knows where this is going.
That is that.
All right, we are doing our conference finals and our championship picks. So how you want to do it?
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it by conference.
Okay.
One apiece. I'll start one, and then you can start one.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, Eastern Conference Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go with the Nets and the Bucks. And do you want me to tell you my winner as well?
Not yet. You can wait on that.
Okay.
Well,
what about you?
No surprise here, Nets and Bucks. And I think, look, that is, if everything plays well, those are the two teams that should be in the conference finals. They are the two best teams in the conference, and I think there's a clear gap after them onto the next group of contenders. So if they're both playing well and healthy and all that, this should be a titanic, epic series. Look, the last year these two teams in the second round went to 7 games, and the Nets were a shell of a team. It was just Kevin Durant and one-legged James Harden. Kyrie was out, right, injured. So if we can get a fully healthy Nets roster, listen, Kyrie out of the picture for now. Sans Kyrie, I think this will be a hell of a matchup. So I like it. Nets, Bucks. Who do you have winning it?
You do this to me. I am going to go with the Nets because I think that there's too much PTSD in Brooklyn about Kevin Durant's toe not to do this and run it back and win. And that is that. And however, I just have too much faith in
Kevin Durant.
I see him like God, like my king. However, there's a very big leap there.
Oh boy, here we go. No, listen, I'm with you there. I'm picking the Nets as well. Look, I think the series likely goes 7 games again, just because look, the Bucks are the defending champs. Like, we saw what they did last year. But again, as good as Giannis is, as good as Chris Middleton is, as good as Drew Holiday is, give me Kevin Durant and James Harden, right? Like, I like it, right? I love that, and I love the Nets have more depth this year. They're a lot deeper. They can do some different things size-wise when Giannis is in the game that they couldn't do last year. So yeah, no, I like this Nets team to win this.
Yeah, I agree. The way I think about it is, like, I know this is going to sound dumb and extremely basic, but like, this is how I see it with, especially the Nets, especially when you name, again, we didn't even name Kyrie. We named,
Durant and Harden.
Not in the mix right
now.
We
Right.
named Harden and Durant. It would be different if they weren't such offensive terrors, but the fact that like both can easily drop 50 a night and that's it, you don't need anybody else to actually score a bucket, it is insane to me. It would be different if you came back and said to me Durant and Harden are so good at defense but suck on offense, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know who's going and taking this now.
Right.
But like, the fact that they can come out and drop that's a safety net for me completely. That's what saves me anytime when somebody is like betting against them.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, when you do these kinds of things, right, when you're looking at the NBA and you're deciding who's winning a series, it often, more than not, in a series comes down to, well, who's got the best player, right? Yeah. Like, that's generally who's got the best player, right? And it doesn't always work out that way because you could argue in the Nets-Bucks series last year. I mean, I think Kevin Durant was the best player in that series. Even though the Bucks won, I think he was the best player. You could argue Giannis was the best player, but in that series, you were splitting hairs. It wasn't like one was glaringly better than the other. So, and I'm going to err on the side of they're healthier this year, Brooklyn. And yeah, I think they take it. So that's me in the Eastern Conference. What do you got in the West?
Okay, in the West, of course.
Of course I know where we're going.
Duh, the Lakers, my guys. Just no surprise there. And I have Utah.
Oh, Jenna is a believer in Quinn Snyder, the Mormons, and Utah.
Baby, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City has never been better. It is the best franchise. I'm going on the record saying it right now. We got D Wade up in here. You don't even know. Like, I'm wearing that little, what's it called? That I should know this. My dad's a band teacher. That little note on my chest all the time.
Okay.
Wearing hats.
You're ready.
Wearing everything.
You're ready.
I believe. Let's go skiing. Actually, I'll stay in the lodge, but still.
So, we agree on half of that matchup. The Utah Jazz will be in the conference finals. However, your Los Angeles Lakers, I do not believe will be in the conference finals. I'm going to go Utah and Phoenix in the conference finals. I think Phoenix is back. Everybody's sleeping on them. They're like, you got lucky last year. Everybody was hurt, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right, listen, they got young dudes. And Jenna, my thing with the Lakers is I think they'll be fine in the regular season. I don't love them in the postseason.
Hey, it's fair. It's fair.
Not enough shooting. I just don't like the shooting. I'm like,
It's fine. However, there's this little thing called the trade deadline coming up in December that things could change.
Listen, you never know.
What if we got a shooter? What if we got another shooter? Just saying.
Well, if I'm the rest of the league, I'm trying to help the Lakers do nothing. So, nobody trade them any shooters.
So selfish of you. So selfish. Anyway, I do like that, though. Listen, Phoenix always has a place in my heart. They would have been my choice, but everybody knows I have to be loyal to my king.
I got you.
And co.
All right. So NBA Finals.
Matchup, though. Yeah.
NBA Finals. What do you got, Jenna? Who's going and who's winning?
I'm gonna go. This would be so the matchup of the century. If you're not surprised,
this is what we want.
Lakers and Nets, baby. When I talked to Shaq, he whipped out honestly, I don't even know how much was in the stack. I can't even quote it, but he whipped it out in the camera. He said, "I'm betting this that the Lakers and the Nets are going to the finals."
Okay.
And he was obviously going to bet the Lakers. He is a Laker, so
all right.
That's what I got. I got the Lakers.
Lakers taking the Nets down.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's all good.
Woo! Everybody stay healthy.
All right, so for me, I'm going Brooklyn and Utah in the finals. I think the Jazz figure out a way and get over the hump. I know it's tough. I felt bad going at CP3 like that. I was like, I
know. I could see him somewhere like.
I know. I really didn't want to do that. I was like, but I'm gonna go Brooklyn and Utah in the finals. And again, all things being equal and they're healthy, I like Brooklyn. Brooklyn takes it, finally gets that chip. Well, Durant's already have it. But
Kyrie,
listen, as you and I have said, with Kyrie and everybody being healthy, they are the overwhelming favorite to win the championship.
Yes.
They can still win without Kyrie. It's just their margin for error is smaller now. Okay? So it'll be a much tougher road. So yes, they can still win it without Kyrie. It's going to be much harder. That's all.
Also pending injury as well.
Well,
that's the
other thing.
For their age and whatever, but Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant. However, we ain't playing with this Achilles. Now.
Listen, no doubt. And as I said last week,
that hamstring. So
as I said last episode, the biggest indicator, a predictor of future injury is previous injury, right? Yes. So, and look, the Achilles was fine last year, but Durant had the hamstring last year, right? Harden had the hamstring last year. So the Nets also are going to have to be smart with this roster, as the Lakers will be. Man, load manage. Don't be out here trying to chase the one seed. Look, because you guys know you could win anywhere. It don't matter. What matters to you, if you're Steve Nash and you're Sean Marks, and they're a very science-thinking organization. They use the sports science. The games that matter, Jenna, are the 16 you need at the end of the year to win the championship. Those are the games that, listen, I don't want to be someone who's like, regular season doesn't matter. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is the games that really matter the most are the 16 at the end you need to win the title. So you need your best players to be as close to their best, because no one's 100% at that time of the year just because of the nature of where it is. But you need them as close to their best at that time of the year, not in February or March. No, you need them then, those 16 games. Same with the Lakers. LeBron, AD, all those guys need to be at their best then, not now, not in the middle of the year. So, and when you're older, that's harder to do. Younger teams got fresher legs, much easier than to recover and do that whole thing. When you got most of your guys are in their 30s, challenging.
Very, very true, my friend. Very, very true. You make all fabulous points. Well, we shall see. Per usual, I am going with my heart and choosing the Lakers.
All good.
To potentially be let down again.
Listen. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think, look, I get it. You want to see LeBron do his thing. I mean, listen.
Could you imagine?
I mean, no, I don't know. I'm good. I'm all set.
Whatever.
I'm all set on that. No, but it's, winning is extremely difficult in this league. We know that, right? It's hard. And everybody's one injury or one thing away, right? And as I said last episode, something happens every season, right? So, hey, teams that, and let's look, I don't want to discount the Bucks and the Suns and Milwaukee especially. We talked about it last time. All the drama going on everywhere else. Shit is quiet as a church mouse up in Milwaukee. They won the chip. Ain't nobody thinking about them. They're like, all right, cool. Y'all keep sleeping. We do have that guy, Giannis. Perhaps you've heard of him. He's pretty good. We saw what he did in the NBA Finals. One of the great performances we've ever seen. It's like, all right, you guys forget about us. Worry about your other ship. We're just going to keep doing us. All right? Yep. And so would it surprise you if Milwaukee went back-to-back? I'm not picking it, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, oh.
No, same actually. And now that you mention it, and you know me, I sit here every day from home and work for the most part, and I watch those. I'm a junkie with sports shows. I watch them all. Ask me what went on each of them, who said what, where, when, and why. I'm there. I have not heard one word about the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee, the reigning champs, the reigning MVP or final MVP, whatever. Nothing. So,
I mean, if I'm Milwaukee, I might feel some kind of way about that, right? Oh, you guys don't think we that cool? All right. You guys keep worrying about Brooklyn and Philly and the Lakers and this team and that team. All right. And same with Phoenix. Nobody's thinking about us. You thought it was a fluke. Oh, you got lucky last year because everybody got hurt. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody's talking about the Lakers, Utah, this, Denver. Okay. Listen, I'm not predicting it. If it was a rematch of this past year's finals, I would not be surprised. I'd be like, well, those teams are good, right?
Yeah.
They were good. They got there for a reason.
I agree.
Anyway, folks, that wraps our season preview pods, because the next time we see you will be opening night of the 75th NBA season. And Jenna, the league will be announcing its top 75 players of all time throughout the course of opening week. I'm excited because, of course, we know the names that will be added to that list. The NBA, of course, did their NBA 50 25 years ago, and we know all the illustrious names that were on that list. So all those people will be here again, and who are the new 25 added? It's safe to say we certainly know 2 names for sure that'll be on there. And you could say that these are the 2 men who really are the defining players of really this era. No disrespect to Steph or Harden or anybody else, but it's LeBron and KD, right? Like, these are the guys like of this era, and we know for sure they're going to be added on that list of the NBA's 75 greatest players of all time.
It's going to be special. You saw that commercial.
The commercial was good, and I encourage you guys to check it out if you haven't seen it on NBA.com. It's, the NBA does a really great job of celebrating its past and just connecting everybody, and just seeing, Kareem teach Dirk the skyhook and like all these funny things. It's really cool. Right. The connection of Oscar Roberts and all the old legends and the current guys, right? It's a beautiful thing to see. But anyway, folks, that's another episode of the 7 Footers podcast. You know where to find us: Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We are at 7 Footers Pod on Twitter, at 7 Footers Podcast on Instagram, at JS Hector, at Jenna Lemoncelli, and until next time, peace.
Spent a couple years out here with these raps, trying to have a plan that we made come true. Applied to some jobs, but I ain't hit back. I don't wanna trap, what's a man gonna do? Chevy told me come